Hey there, Meandeers. It's Ashley. Good to see you back at the channel. I appreciate your support. Today, I'm going to start diving headfirst into some Walt Disney World content. Favorite place to go on the planet. So I've learned a thing or two. Been traveling there since 1976. Have traveled as a child, as a teen, with children, with teens, with adult children. Here we are. And I've got some tips I've learned along the way to help make your trips smoother and more magical. So let's dive headfirst into my know before you go essentials. And hey, if I don't cover something that you can think of or you have a question, leave it in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Be sure to invest some time in planning ahead. Never just show up. Always be in the know and have a plan to maximize your experience. There is a lot that goes into having a great day at Disney World, and it is in your best interest to do some research so you are not overwhelmed and frustrated by the pitfalls of not planning ahead. A couple of things I'd like to be aware of before heading to the parks are park hours. Some parks open and close earlier than others. Always check before going, because if you're an early bird, you could rope drop an earlier park, Animal Kingdom, and knock out quite a few attractions before the other parks even open. Also, always check closing times, because during the second half of every year, there are separately ticketed events that happen a few nights a week, and those will cut your park day short. Also, sometimes the parks close early for private events. You don't want that special trip with your heart set on an emotional evening with fireworks ending with a big disappointment. Also, keep in mind attraction closures. You don't want to show up expecting to ride your favorite ride only to find out it's closed for months for refurbishment. Here's where to find these on the Disney World website and the My Disney Experience app. Just click on the park hours and scroll down to see what attractions are down for refurbishment. Use Disney gift cards. Not only can you use Disney gift cards to budget and manage spending, you can save money with them too. Some of the membership stores like Sam's Club or Costco occasionally have special offers for a percentage off Disney gift cards. And if you have a Target Red card, you can order from them online or buy them at the store at a 5% discount. This can really add up and makes it an easy way to save for your trip. Disney also has a website to help you manage your gift cards. Register your cards with DisneyGiftCard.com so you can move balances around between cards, and in the unfortunate event of a lost card, you can transfer that balance off right away so you don't lose your trip funds. Disney gift cards can be used to pay for essentially all things Disney. Train for all the walking and wear the right shoes. Get used to walking a lot and make sure your shoes are comfortable for long days in the parks. Do not underestimate the amount of walking you will do, and do not buy a new pair of shoes to break in at Disney World. No joke, on my last week-long trip, I walked 74 miles. My shoes of choice at the moment are a well broken in pair of Adidas Ultra Boost or my Haunted Mansion Crocs. I try to alternate days wearing them, and that seems to cut down on leg fatigue. And with all that walking, you also need to keep chafing in mind. Prepare accordingly. I wear biker shorts, under skirts, and a stick of Body Glide is a good thing to pack. Get familiar with the My Disney Experience app. This is a necessary evil. You're going to need someone in your party that is super familiar with their way around the My Disney Experience app. Trust me, the more time you spend learning this before you go, the less time you'll be looking at your phone in the parks. Things to practice: knowing how to scan into parks and lightning lanes, checking wait and show times, making and modifying dining reservations, ordering quick service dining, adding yourself to walk-up wait lists at lounges, merchandise checkout, this one can really save you a lot of time, using virtual queue for select attractions, purchasing, booking, and modifying lightning lane single and multi-pass if you plan to use that upgrade. Familiarize yourself with the rides. This is especially important with little ones. Check the height requirements and know what your kids will and will not be able to ride. It stinks for them to get all excited about an attraction only to find out they aren't tall enough to ride. Knowing this going in will help alleviate disappointments. Also realize that even though the characters can be meant for the youngest of littles on some of the rides, some of them are inside and can be dark, so they can come across as scary to some tiny humans. As for the grown-ups with kiddos, you don't have to miss out. Read up on Rider Switch and how to use it. Just search up Rider Switch in that app I just told you about for more info. Weigh the advantages of Lightning Lane single and multi-pass. There are a lot of videos out there that explain lightning lanes in detail, but basically it's choosing to upgrade your ticket to skip the lines. The multipass system can have a lot of value if you take time to learn to use it, maximize it, and plan ahead. I am a fan of the system, but it isn't always cost effective, especially if you are traveling in a larger group. It's just going to depend on how you like to spend your days and your budget for upgrades. Things to factor into your decision: cost. It varies by day, and the busier the park, the more expensive it is. How do you like to do your park days? To maximize multipass, you really need to plan to be in the parks early to ride that first ride and unlock the ability to book more rides on any tier and any park. If you like to roll in midday, it may not be the best investment, especially in a park like Animal Kingdom where the crowds tend to thin mid-afternoon. If you have little ones, save time and hassle by renting a stroller from a third-party company. When my boys were smaller, this is what we did because this is a lot more comfortable for littles than this. The price was never that much more than the in-park rentals. You also have extra storage space for souvenirs or just all the stuff that comes along with vacationing with kiddos. You get to skip the time it takes to pick up and return and always have one to use around the resorts and Disney Springs. I don't have a specific company to recommend, but a quick Google of Disney World stroller rental companies pulled up quite a few to choose from. They will deliver it directly to your resort and pick it up from Bell Services when you leave. Plan for rain. It's Florida. It's tropical. It's going to rain. Some times of the year are worse than others, but I don't remember a trip where we didn't experience some kind of rain. It may be torrential or it may just be a little misty. The weather changes very quickly, so be prepared. If you don't like to get wet, I'd seriously consider packing a rain jacket, poncho, or small umbrella for easy access. Also, think about wearing clothing that dries quickly and having a backup pair of Crocs or sandals because there's nothing worse than soggy socks. Okay, when I first started coming to Disney World as an adult with a family, this is one of the hardest lessons I learned. Plan your dining. I have been there and done that thing where you have hangry kids and no plans. I don't recommend you make my mistakes. If you are planning on dining on property, I highly recommend pre-booking at least one sit-down meal per day at the 60-day mark before your trip. You are allowed to modify and cancel most reservations up to 2 hours in advance, so you can release them if you don't need them, but most days, we opt to keep that scheduled air-conditioned break on the agenda. However, I do not ever schedule more than one per day. The portions are usually large at sit-down meals, and I don't like booking up too much of my day. We typically do either a brunch or a dinner. We usually wing it with the other meals that day by using quick service and lounge bites. Keeping dining flexible, but with at least one solid plan as to when you know you'll have a filling meal, allows you more time for other experiences and yummy snacks. Okay, I'm going to drop a little tip within a tip here for you. Not all character dining is created equal. I would highly recommend checking menus, prices, and reviews prior to booking one of these experiences. Some of them are in large venues, and it may take up to 90 minutes for all of the characters to circle through. So if you're in a hurry, you may miss out. I have been to others where we met all the characters 3 times before finishing our meal. Just look up some reviews before making a decision on these. This is something I have learned in recent years. Look at dining outside the parks. I used to plan to dine in the parks on our park days. The resorts around Disney World property and Disney Springs have amazing dining options. So when you are planning those dining reservations, look outside the parks. It's likely you'll save money and experience better food options. It's also a great break from the hustle and bustle of the parks. Less noise and a slower pace can be a good atmosphere to relax before heading back into the parks for nighttime shows. If you are in Magic Kingdom, look for dining options on the monorail loop. Animal Kingdom Lodge has great dining, especially if you are with adventurous eaters. If you're at Epcot or Hollywood Studios, check the dining at the resorts on the Skyliner at the Boardwalk area or at Riviera Resort. Thanks so much for watching. I really enjoy sharing the things I've learned with you in hopes that it can make your trips a little more smooth and magical. My family's made some great memories at Disney World, and I hope that you can make some wonderful memories with your family as well. Anyway, if you enjoyed this content, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you can keep meandering with me. And let me know in the comments if you have any tips or something I didn't cover, or if you have a question. I'd love to hear it.